on the Board of Library Trustees for the Provincetown Public Library, and we decided, Stephen Borkowski championed bringing Moby Dick to our community. There's a Moby Dick marathon that's done around the world. And so when Berta heard about this, she said, wow, let's do a show, let's do a whale show. And it ended up being well over 35 artists in the community that contributed to this monumental show. And a portion of the proceeds does go to the library fund.
There were a couple things that pulled this piece out of my studio to me to use. I guess what I was looking for was a lot of blue to really, really emphasize the watery part of this whole novel. And then I thought, what else could kind of relate to that? And I thought, well, you know, the whale was white, so why not use this piece right here that I chose that has the white oar, kind of symbolic, kind of referencing the white whale.
I chose to do a series of whales. I did about 12 of them in 2014, and this being one of them. And what I was concerned with was conveying the whale in a state of freedom breaching that was outside of our history of whaling and capturing and using the whale. And the whale is now, of course, endangered. And so my interest was sort of putting them in their own sort of wild, free environment. We're really lucky to be in their presence. There's something very mystical about that. I like knowing that they're out there, that we're close to them.
Hello. Ah, you know they're in love when they start dressing alike. This is darling. Thank you so much. I mean, this writes itself. You really just have to look around. Hello up there. I'm being filmed. Cheer for me. Yay. Hello, everybody. Hello. I'm on TV. I'm on TV.
Miss Richfield 1981.
Correct.
Did you go back and defend your title in 82?
No, it's a beauty title. You probably don't understand. You can only win it once. It's such a coveted title. Miss Richfield 1981 from Richfield, Minnesota is a title. It's a beauty title. It's a beauty contest. So when I went back in 1982, I had to give the crown to the next gal. Because then there was a Miss Richfield 1982, and there's been a Miss Richfield for many, many years.
But now I think of you a bit like Angelique Jolie. She's an ambassador for the UN. They send her off to Africa. You're an ambassador for your city. They send you off to here.
Guilty as charged. Thank you. I am an ambassador, and it's amazing because I got my title, my beauty title, on July 4th in the year of our Lord, 1981, and that was July 4th. And on July 5th, just one day later, the whole community got together and formed a committee to raise money to buy me a bus ticket to go someplace else. Yeah, that very day, and I have been on the road ever since. Oftentimes they just say, go, just go, and tell people about Richfield. And when I get home, there's always another bus ticket there on my screen door for me to go someplace else. You know, a one-way ticket because, you know, Richfield, we don't have a lot of money, and the Greyhound's very expensive.
Science, I believe, is not the fact. It is the lack of fact and the need to understand it. And the spiritual merges with that when you're dealing with almost any living thing or with the inanimate world around us, because it's filled with unknowns. My father often said, and I thought it was crazy, but while I was in graduate school, he said we should have a marine laboratory in Provincetown. And I don't know that I gave it enough credibility as an idea that I even answered him. Turns out it is probably the best place, maybe in the world, to study whales, to disentangle whales. The center was getting ready for Thanksgiving dinner. We decided to go offshore because we had lots of humpbacks in the harbor, and we wanted to see if we could record their songs. There was Ibis, still dragging gear, obviously thinner, not well. We all looked at one another and said, what are we going to do now? We didn't have a fancy gear like we have now. Matilda said, let's use the grapple, which was just a grapple anchor with 4 tines, and we threw that into the gear, and that is the technique which is still used in many ways worldwide. The center is now a bigger institution. We now have a fisheries department. We're monitoring water chemistry. We have an exceptional program just evolving in seals. So I think we got all of those things are going to add very important elements. But the overarching issue of climate change will likely impact everything we do. And the center will likely play a profound role in that. And it should, because the center is at a place of the most active geology along our coastline, maybe along the whole coast of North America.
So this is the moment your countdown clock has been ticking toward. Please join your hands again. By the act of joining hands, you take to yourself the relationship of wife and wife. And you solemnly promise to love, honor, comfort, and cherish each other so long as you both shall live and love. Therefore, on this day, October 15th, 2016, in accordance with the law of the Commonwealth, and by virtue of the authority vested in me by the state and law of Massachusetts, it is with great joy that I pronounce and announce that you are married. You may now kiss your bride. Let's hear it.
We're here today to provide free to the fishermen safety training for all the commercial fishermen. And we do this throughout the state of Massachusetts. And we've been doing this for about 12 years now. And we take our training to where the fishermen are. They're out there, it's them against the elements. They have an emergency. They need to be able to know how to address that. They certainly are going to call the Coast Guard to come out and assist them. But by the time the Coast Guard gets there, the emergency is going to have progressed, and if they don't know how to take care of that and address it using the equipment that they have on board, then the outcome is not going to be good.
Our community health workers or navigators work in the field directly with fishermen, so they might be spouses of fishermen from fishing families or fishermen themselves.
I feel it's easier for me to work with our fishing families because I am a fishing family. And because they know me from the community, they feel comfortable and have confidence that when they come to see me, I'm going to take care of them as one of my own.
What makes it really challenging for a fisherman to obtain affordable health insurance is that their income is unpredictable and it's often changing throughout the year. So they might not work in the winter, but then they might have a really busy season. And to obtain health insurance through the state of Massachusetts, if you're going to get assistance paying for it to make it more affordable, it's based on your income. So you need to provide that information to the state. So we can sort of help you do that, understand the application, and sort of walk you through those steps.
You and I could do an app during our lunch. They don't have that opportunity. It's hard for them to find the time to sit down and go through it. They don't need to do that now. If they're in for half a day, they come into the office, we help them go through it. By the time they leave, hopefully they're insured, just need to pay the invoice.
It's time for the 8th Annual AIDS Support Group of Cape Cod's 5K Walk Run. On Sunday, July 17th, families, friends, and visitors from all over the Cape arrive in Provincetown to enjoy a gorgeous morning walk or run along our famous commercial street. Register online at asgcc.org. Registration includes a race t-shirt and full breakfast. Prizes will be given out for our top fundraisers and runners. Register today at asgcc.org. See you July 17th.
Is not like a dry documentary where you feel like you're taking your medicine. I think it's learning. But the second important part is I want young people to see it. I want it in schools because it would encourage young women and men to know that they can take power and get things done if you're committed and have stick-to-itiveness. And the law is what makes things different. So it's very important to change the law.
I think sometimes young people get really frustrated with the system, so they kind of throw their hands up and say, screw it. But really, to get things done, you have to be working on the streets, demonstrating, but then you have to move people into the corridors of power to actually be able to change things. And, the state of California, we're very lucky, our citizens, for the work that Carol Migden, Sheila Kuehl, and Christine Kehoe and Jackie Goldberg did, because we think a lot about who's the president of the United States, but really when it comes to things that affect you on a day-to-day basis, it's your state senators that are making those laws and can really impact you.
My name is Doug Johnstone. I'm the town clerk in Provincetown, and I want to tell all our voters out there about early voting. The state has instituted early voting for the first time, starting with this November 8th state election. And what that means for our voters is that if you'd like to vote, you can simply come into the town clerk's office Monday, October 24th through Friday, November 4th, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday through Thursday, or 8 a.m. to 12 noon on Fridays, and also Saturday, October 29th, from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Early voting is easy. You simply come in, give us your name and address, get your ballot. You'll be asked to put it in an affidavit envelope so that we have your signature on file, and it gets put in and counted with all the ballots on Election Day, November 8th. It couldn't be easier. Now this time, for the first time ever, the first choice you have to make in this election is when you want to vote.